All right, you guys, we are live. It is a great day to be alive, and it's a great day to be together. I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Raven. Raven, how are you doing?
Good.
Sweet. Okay, let's see who's here with us. Guys, it was crazy right now. I'm telling you, it was crazy the last few minutes.
It's echoing.
Oh, is it really? Is it?
I'm muted. It's on this side.
Okay. Well, we'll work on this, guys.
Just mute yourself because it's very loud.
Please apologize, guys. I hear it's loud.
No, not through this. Let me check again, see if it's doing it.
I'm trying not to talk so that if it's really annoying or echoey or something. Oh, sound is good. Sherry says sound is good.
Sounds good now, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, good. Didn't want to be too much. Okay, guys, fun to have you all here. It's a great morning. Florida, no echoing. All right, good, perfect. Then we're ready to rock and roll. I'm excited. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you what's going to be happening. But I want to remind everybody that today is a really great day to do this. If you haven't already, I know most of you probably have, but go to ministrychallenge.com and pick up something great. Okay. Whoops. I'll hide that. And, oh, it's backwards. Dude, what is up? It's backwards. That's so weird. There's some weird technical things going on today, but this, I don't know if the whole thing's going to be backwards today. I have no idea, but all I can say is that right now, this is mirrored. It's opposite of what I am seeing, but this is the scene that we're going to paint today. And so I'll see if I can, get myself out of the way, and you can take a screenshot if you are so inclined that you want to paint alongside. But like I say, this might just be backwards. So I'm not sure. There's so many funny things that happen, man. I'm telling you. I'm going to try to see if I can, because, oh yeah, it says mirror my camera. Somehow that got clicked. There we go. Okay, now you see it the normal way. So maybe you need to take another, Nate, take another screenshot, and then you can pick which one you like. All right, so we're going to do that. And let me see. If you want to get a text notification, make sure that you text me, guys. And again, I'm sorry that I don't know, too many little things this morning that have thrown me off just a little bit. But I want to say an apology to you guys, because I told you last week that I was going to put on the painting that is going to be donated to the Homes of Hope in Ensenada, Mexico, that we went down. I said I was going to get it on my site that day, and I didn't. And so anyways, I apologize about that, but I am going to get it on there today. And we'll also have another couple paintings up there soon as well. So I wanted to let you know that. So again, this will be the painting. So we're going to go like this. And I want to also let you guys know there were a couple people that reached out and said, hey, I'd be willing to come on the show and talk. So if that was one of you and I haven't responded, it's just because I went to Mexico and all sorts of crazy stuff happened and like we were really busy. So I'm going to try to look back, but if you still want to be on the show, reach out again. And I'm also want you to know that Justin Vining is going to be on here with me on Thursday. So that's going to be super fun. And he's going to be talking about, hey, would you do me a huge favor? Could you go grab me that paper towel thing over there? Thanks. But Justin's going to be talking about the Foundations of Business art course that he and Peter really worked a lot on, and with some other people. But Justin's going to kind of be here on Thursday, and he'll give us some insight. Thanks so much, dude. Appreciate it. Okay, are we ready for this? Who's ready? I think I am. So I love this scene. If you guys don't know where this is okay, obviously I'm doing a long 12 by 24, which means I'll probably have to change the picture just a little bit because it's not quite 12 by 24. It's 16 by 9 dimensions. So it's a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to like do a little adaptation for the canvas. This is a hard panel, gesso, ultra smooth. We got titanium white, cadmium yellow, cadmium orange, quinacridone red, ultramarine blue, Mars black. And we're just going to have a lot of fun painting today. This scene is from, it's near Le Conner. If you guys watch, I don't know if you guys saw the little adventure video. I called it the Epic Art Adventure, I think, the other day I put out on YouTube. It's this scene from that place. And that was a really fun day that I had going exploring. And I said in that video, if I could choose anything to paint today, this would be the scene. But because of the way that the lighting had changed and shifted by the time I was at this exact spot, it was too, the sun was just about to come up over the trees, and it was going to be directly in the sunlight. And I just thought, nah, it's not going to work to paint here right now. So I went up on the bluff and I painted something else. But this was the scene that I really wanted to paint. So we're painting it today. And we'll just draw in kind of the elements here. I've debated a little bit on whether or not I should put in this tree, this big log. But I think I'm going to. I think it's interesting. As long as I can make it stand out enough that it like it's not confused with the rest of the scene. So what are you guys thinking about this week? What's a goal that you guys have for this week? Anything that you guys are working on? Anything that you're excited about? I'll ask, since Raven's here with me, he can give me any of your answers and we can chat a little bit. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about right now. This is a big old stump, isn't it? Sometimes you just wonder, how does this happen? What happened? Is this like a tree that somebody cut down? Did it fall over? How exactly did it end up here? You know, I grew up on the water. I spent a lot of time at the beach, I should say. Our house wasn't on the water, but right across the street. And, you know, if you spend much time at the beach, you realize like things come and go. Like the shape of the beach will change. All sorts of driftwood stuff gets brought in. It'll be gone, you know, another season. But it's always like there's so many interesting things that you see. What are people saying, Raven?
There's a few people that have some projects going on.
Read a couple things directly.
Okay, finishing several mini paintings for collectors, Diana said.
Oh, cool.
Nia's painting her first sunset.
Oh, nice.
Lori's working on a piece that I hope Joyce left. Hope some Joyce left after to work on. Vivian had a painting dream.
A dream about painting?
Yeah.
Nice. That's when it becomes real. It's like when you start dreaming in a different language, right? They say that it's like that means you're really understanding the language. I wonder if that's the same thing with art. That's pretty cool.
Lisa has a recommendation. Perhaps you could critique on academic volunteers.
Totally. You know what? Actually, that's a really good idea. Thank you for that, because that's a super fun. That's a super good idea. I like it. I'll try to figure that out.
Someone's asking if you can explain your thought process for choosing your sketch, like the color sketch everything out with.
Oh, I want to be able to see it. That's like one of the main things. And the other thing is that, like, I know that with the black background, the colors are all going to get a little bit more dull, like when they dry and things like that. So I think that I just have always found that the color, it adds a little bit of interest. You don't have to use such a colorful color. Like sometimes I might use a purple if I want it to blend in more. But a lot of times I think that I have two things that I like. I like to paint on black, and I also like to paint on colorful things sometimes. And I'll also paint on gray, but I do the same thing often if I paint on gray. Is I use a kind of a colorful, something colorful to paint, to draw with. And I think it's just that I love color so much that I generally want to do something that has a little bit of life to it. So I think this is getting there. I can see most of what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to stop with that, and we're going to break out the big brush. Are you guys ready for this? This is honestly, guys, like if you want to know how to paint something cool like this stump and actually make it really dynamic, I think using a big brush and just being super bold with your brush strokes is a big part of that. I remember a few times painting trees, like, you know, big old trees, you know, massive trees. And sometimes just that, it's like, how do you capture this bark it feels like it's 6 inches thick of bark, and, you know, just like these crazy big trees, huge knots in the trees. The branches themselves are very large, you know. And I just feel like it's kind of like if I don't try to do something big with it, it's not going to capture at least some of the feel that I can kind of feel when I'm close to that tree. So anyway, might not be for everybody, but it's kind of the way that I like to look at it. That huge brush should not scare you. No way, man. You're not afraid of that brush. The brush is just, it's your friend.
Muzi said, I started painting for the first time yesterday after watching your video for beginners as a couple days ago.
Oh, cool.
A couple days ago. Thanks for your videos.
Oh, awesome. That's exciting. I'm so happy about that. Man, my goal is to inspire you and to see you step into your creativity with all your heart. So if that video helped you, I'm very thankful.
You're using a 12 by 24 canvas?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you. This is 12 by 24. These brushes are flats. Both of these are size number 20. One of them is, they're both from Princeton. One is a Princeton Aspen, and this is a Princeton Catalyst. I like the Princeton Aspen. It's my favorite brush. And I mostly only use flat. I just like it. It's kind of a longer bristle. It also has this nice flat kind of end that I feel like I can get a lot of different shapes out of it. You know, like of course I can put down a brush stroke like this and it's going to have a flat end. Like, let me see. I'll do a brush stroke with this smaller one. So you can see, like, you can just go like that and put a kind of flat brush stroke down. But you can also do lots of stuff. Like if I want it to be a little bit thinner, you know, I can use it that way. But you can also do stuff like with the edge and getting a little bit scratchy feel. So and then of course, if you dry this off and have much like less paint on there, you can do things like this where you get a dry brush effect. You know, like your brush is very versatile. And this is just, to me, the best, most versatile brush. So it's like primarily what I use.
Debbie says, hi, I had surgery on both eyes over the last 2 months. Still healing and waiting for close-up vision. Looking forward to painting this when I do. Thank you.
Wow. Good job. That's tough. You're tough. Thanks so much, Raven, for reading those things out. So I'm trying to capture the some of the sunlight on this log, right? And then I'm trying to kind of work the values and the colors. Like it's not all going to be a highlight, but it's not all black either, right? And how do we get some of the variety? How do we show this? I just am, like I was saying, you know, I'm a big fan of the big brush here. And so I want to keep using it and showing the form of these things, you know, this log in particular, as much as I can with the big brush. And then you think about stuff like there's there's some direct sunlight here. So these are going to be pretty light, and I'm actually going to make those lighter. But then over here on this side, there's some area that's in the shadow. It's also lit up a little bit, but it's not as bright, but it has that reflected light. And so I'm using more of a blue in here to show, my hope is that it will show the form, but not the same brilliance, you know, kind of as the area that's all in the sunlight. I also want to make sure that I keep this, the form of this big enough. Like right here, I'm just realizing that it gets kind of big. And I know that this kind of stuff sometimes looks boring, you know. You might not see all the, like, you have to be patient is my point. You have to be patient in art, because a lot of the stuff that you'll do, one artist, I remember him saying, his name's Kim English, and he's a great artist, but he said, you know, everybody thinks that my paintings are all about light, you know, but he said 90% of the work is done before you put on the highlights. It's all the preparation, all the stuff that's kind of helping make it look like what am I saying? It's like all the work that's not the spotlight is what actually makes the spotlight nice. And a lot of times we get really impatient and we want to see the light and we want to paint the light, and we don't take enough time doing the other parts that are going to make the light look like it's lit up. So be patient and be okay with the process that it's going to take a minute, and that's okay. There's a little bit of grass and other little debris underneath this big log here. And my big thing here is I feel like I've kind of messed up a bit on the shape of this. In fact, there might be I see something that comes up here. I don't know. I don't love the way that that's why I think stuff like this is actually harder than sometimes it seems like it should be. But we're going to keep moving and trust the process. Some of these areas are in the shadow on this side. And a lot of times when I'm painting like this, you'll see I keep these brushes. I don't really wash them off all the time. I just kind of keep using them and finding different ways of using the colors that are on there already, trying to create interesting variations on those colors and trying to grab little shapes here and there. And I actually think that this is going to be quite interesting. There are a few, like if I'm looking at the little nuances here in the log, it's quite an interesting shape, right? And a lot of it is, it's kind of dark, and then there's the highlights, but there are these other areas that I like this because I can see some warm, kind of dark brown, reddish kind of areas where it's almost like it's rotted. The log is all kind of rotted, but I think that when I come back a little bit later and I put in some of the highlights, I think it'll read well, I think. And once again, I really just want to trust the process. I think sometimes you can have an idea, and if you get too discouraged about it not looking good right off the bat, you can give up on the idea and you don't follow it through all the way. And you actually never see what it could have looked like because you might stop that thing. You might give up on the painting altogether. So that's my goal now, is to not fall into one of those little traps. Just keep going. What's happening in the chat?
Donna said, I'm glad you think it's harder because you make it look easy. Like, you know what colors are grabbing to make the log. I think it's hard to do.
Well, it's very, very much, I always say it like this. When you first go to visit a city and you've never been there before, you don't know anything. You don't know where to go for anything. Like, you have to discover it's all brand new, and you have to like figure out how to walk around and get from point A to point B. But if you ever live in that city, it all changes, right? You start to become more familiar with it. And even if you kind of end up on a street somewhere and you're like, wait, where am I? Or, sooner or later you're going to recognize a landmark and you're going to go, oh, here I am. I didn't realize, I got a little bit turned around, but now I see all I have to do is go, I have to go this way. And it's kind of like that with art. It's like when you're starting out, it's like a new city and you don't really know that much about where to go or how to get from one part of the city to the other. But the longer that you stay and the longer that you walk around and you discover things, the more comfortable you get with realizing, okay, you know what? I know this city. I know my way around this neighborhood. I know my way around. I don't have to worry. Even if I get turned around, I know for instance, when we lived in Vancouver, BC, my wife, this was her favorite thing about living there in terms of directions. She knew that if she ever got turned around, all she had to do was find the mountains. Where are the mountains? Because if you know what I'm talking about, Vancouver, BC has some large mountains. I actually always thought of them kind of like hills, but they are mountains. But the mountains on the North Shore are always north of the city. You never need to wonder. If you see those mountains, you always know that's north. And if you know what north is, it's going to help you figure out your way to get where you need to. And so that's kind of the way it is with painting. If you paint enough, sooner or later, you're going to be like, oh, okay. You kind of have this built-in landmark that will tell you, okay, I might not understand everything about where I am, but I know that these few principles are always true. If like you understand how to mix colors, you understand how to, a design can be simplified. You understand certain things that will just be like the mountains of North Vancouver. And it just helps you get from one place to the other. And that's like, all I know is like a few things. I know that these colors are all going to work because they're all born out of like a few primary colors. I'm not worried about that. I know that a lot of times it doesn't look good. Like part of it is just not being scared. If you know where you're going, or if you know that you've walked down the road 1,000 times already and you haven't died yet, right? Like I haven't been hit by a car yet, and I think I know where I'm going. I think like if I go down this way one more time, I think I'll live. And you're just not as afraid. That's like what art is like for me now. It's like, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Like I have questions too, but I've been down the road enough times that I'm not as worried about it as maybe I was, like a while back. There have definitely been times when I used to do a painting and I would start it out and I would be really happy about it. I'd be really excited. And then the fear would come. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, like I started a good painting. Oh no, what's going to happen now? I don't know how to finish it. And I feel like the fear itself is almost worse than like not knowing what to do. Because the fear, like if you don't know what to do, but you're not afraid, at least you'll try something. But if you're afraid and you're like all tense about it, then it feels like you get in these places where you can't even move, you're just stuck. So my encouragement to anybody out there who thinks that it's overwhelming or something is just like, hey, take a deep breath. Say, it's just paint. Like I'm going to be okay. This isn't the end of me. And just keep going and experiment and have fun. Because that's what it should be. Should be fun. And if you enjoy the process, it'll actually make it 1,000 times better. And I don't know if you can see, but my colors are really muddy. I mean, like, I don't say muddy in the sense that they don't work together or that they're ugly. I just mean they're all mixed together. There's nothing really clean on the canvas right now. But I find that actually to be really fun. And I think it actually will help long-term because I can still bring in really vibrant colors. I can just clean off an area and mix up some really vibrant colors, but having colors that are all kind of, some of them being they're mixed together, they're little variations off of it. That's what I think. It makes nice grays. It makes just a little bit more of an interesting painting in my mind. And, that's why you don't see me right now doing anything to clean it. I'm not concerned that it's not clean. I actually like it. It's more about the values. I see, there's these other tree trunks, logs, things back here. They're lighter.
Diana was wondering what adjustments you make when you go from a smaller 12 by 12 to something like this.
Well, I mean, this is not that. It's like painting two 12 by 12s at the same time. So in some ways, it's not that big of a difference. But I think some of the main things I think about are trying to, if I'm going bigger, how can I stay big? Like, one of the things I like about painting on a small canvas is it's very easy to have bold brush strokes, right? The canvas compared to your brush is small, and therefore the brush strokes are usually, it's kind of easy to have them feel like they're big and bold and juicy and that kind of thing. And so, like, if you get into bigger canvases where it's significantly bigger, what I try to do is think, how can I make what I'm doing, like for instance, like if I'm doing this, like, why not just make it one big brush stroke? You know, it's very intentional. I think if you want to paint a certain way, you have to make those decisions to across the size. Like, it needs to go from, hey, if I like this little painting that I did and I want to enlarge it, you have to really look at what do you like about the little painting, and then think, how am I going to transfer that to the big painting? And I think that that's one of the harder things, because a lot of times I think we don't see, we don't recognize like what it is exactly that makes us like something. And then it makes it harder for us to replicate it in another time. And I honestly think that painting big, one of the easy things to do is just lose the freshness of it, because you get too worked up about it. Like a little painting, you're not as concerned about it, right? Like, it's for fun. You don't feel like you have as much invested into the canvas, all that kind of thing. And then you get out the big canvas, and sometimes you can get worried and fearful. And then you start getting, oh, I gotta make it just right. And you get in there really in a kind of a different mentality than you had with the first one. And so those are the things I try to pay attention to. Like, do I need to change my tools so that they're more similar and will give the same effect on a bigger canvas, like bigger brushes? Do I need to change the way that I'm thinking about my actual brush strokes? What is it, right? Because there's something that you like about, maybe the work that you do on a certain size. And so being intentional in thinking about how can you make that happen on a larger canvas. Well, that's what I do, is I just try to paint with the same freshness, right? One of the things that's helpful is if you paint outside, you do plein air painting ever, you realize like you have to paint fast. You can't worry too much about the little details. They're going to slow you down too much. And so you kind of paint a certain way. And I think that my best paintings are ones that I do that with that same mentality. And so that's something that I think about, is like, can I paint with that urgency that you have when you're painting outside and you don't have forever?
Saw someone wondering when the 12 Days of Christmas starts.
Oh, man. Man, you guys, that's so good. I am so sorry. That's part of it. Is like, actually was part of it was I was trying to figure out that last week, and it kind of slowed me down. You know the only problem with having lots of good ideas? You have lots of good ideas. Too many good ideas. There's too many good ideas. But no, me and Raven, we're going to do something today. We're going to get, he's done his part. He's gotten me the images that I need. I just need to like get them on my site actually. And I need to do a tiny little bit of prep work on my site. But I will, you guys, I will. Did you notice how I avoided telling you when it was going to start?
It was a very loose answer.
It was. Just kind of, it will start. That's what I basically said. It will start. No, I think that I should be able to like, I'm trying to figure out like, because part of it is I was going to start it. Honestly, I was going to start it December 1st. But then I needed to get a couple other things done. And so I put that on the back burner. And then I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was trying to do a little bit of math and figure out like when, if I do 12 days, what day does that end on? You know, if I start it this week. So that's what I'm kind of working on, because we're going to Edmonton for Christmas. We're leaving on the 22nd. And I was trying to kind of figure out like, yeah, just like what that's going to look like in terms of being able to ship paintings, posting paintings, etc.
Steve Miller was saying just make it 5 days of Christmas.
5 days of Christmas. Yeah. No, the 12 days is fun, man. That's
the Christmas tradition.
It is the Christmas tradition. And it's my tradition since, I don't know if I told you, I know some of you know this story, I'm sure. But what happened when I became a full-time artist in whatever year that was, it was 2016, I became a full-time artist. And that summer I had a show at a gallery, and this show, this TV show, this crew walked through my show when it was hanging, and some of the people fell in love with my artwork, and they determined that they wanted to come back and do some filming. And the show was called Good Bones, and if you haven't seen it, you can go to season 2, episode 5, I believe, and you'll see this episode that has me in it. And but anyways, I'll try to make it a short story because it was funny, man. Like I totally was awkward on there. I didn't think they're gonna use it at all because they said they're gonna tell me when it came out, and it never came out. And like 9 months later or something like that, I was driving. It was the summer. I was in Washington State. I'd come home for like a summer break, and I got so many emails all of a sudden, and I was trying to figure out what was happening, and I realized, oh, that show actually went live, and they obviously must have showed my paintings or something, because all these people are interested in my work. And so but I didn't have anything for them to buy. They all had gone to my site. They're all interested, but I had nothing. And so anyways, this is like one of the things I think about. Like, I've learned so many lessons over the years in terms of art and business and stuff, but that winter I had a bunch of emails from all these people, and I had still never done anything. But that fall, one big thing had happened. It was the fall of 2017, and it was this. My brother, I had had a show at my brother's studio, and he had put all the paintings on Facebook. He just like posted them on Facebook. And we had sold like a ton of the paintings had sold directly from Facebook. And I was like, this is crazy. I never thought anybody would buy artwork online. You know, like I thought, yeah, they'll buy other stuff, but why would, you know, why would I put my paintings for sale online? Because they want to see it in person. Like they're not going to, but all of a sudden, like we sold, I don't know how many paintings, but it was like more than we sold out of the gallery, we sold online. And I'm like, no way, this is crazy. And people were paying like decent money, you know, like it was like, this is nuts. And so that December I go, dude, Renee, I know what I'm going to do. You know, I'm always last minute idea. I'm going to do a 12 Days of Christmas show. So I started putting my paintings on my site. I made it 12 days, and it was such a fun experience because they all sold, and it was just a blast. So anyways, basically every year since then, I've done a 12 Days of Christmas show. It's been a lot of fun. So
Barbara was wondering, do you ever return to the piece later? Because it only takes an hour to revise them.
Oh, all depends. Like if I leave it as a demo, you know, if I just go like, I'm going to pop this on my site, and, you know, it's like, I try not to touch it too much because, you know, I'm thinking of it a certain way. If I want it to become a little bit more refined, or, you know, I want to do a little bit more on it, I'll look at it. You know, there's times when extra work does not make it better. And there are times when having, you know, a week to look at it and figure out what could make it better actually makes it a lot better. It really depends on the painting and how it went and how good your plan was, you know, leading up. You know, sometimes you have an idea that doesn't turn out, and other times your idea goes incredibly well. And, you know, this is one way to think about painting. And a lot of people ask this type of question, like, you know, how long did it take you to paint that? But if you think about it, think about music. Think about a musician. And I think that my dad might have said this the other day, but it was the first time I'd heard it, and it was like, oh, that's so interesting, and it makes so much sense. Like nobody ever goes to a concert of a, you know, like some amazing musician that they look up to, and the person plays a song, and they say, how long did it take them to, you know, like that song was only 3 minutes, right? That song must not be worth as much, you know, because it's shorter than the other one, or, you know, whatever. It's like, only does it happen in artwork that we look at like the length of time that it took to actually do the physical work of it. But when it's like something else, we innately understand that there was like, yeah, the song took like a very short amount of time for them to perform it, but there were like years and years and countless hours of training that enabled them to do that. And it's totally the same thing with art. I mean, you can see it so easily. Like if you ever, get to, you know, I don't know. It's just, it's a good analogy that I think I'm going to keep using. But my point is that sometimes what can be done in an hour is absolutely terrific and doesn't need to be touched at all. But it's more than that 1 hour that made the hour amazing, right? And then there are other times like that, even a really good artist can spend 5 days working on something and it doesn't turn out. It's not a guarantee that everything's going to work. It's just that you have a better shot at it. Your percentages get higher the longer you paint. But for sure, I will take some of these paintings afterwards and work on them. Almost all of them I do a little tiny bit. It just depends how much. Okay, so I actually really like the feel of this right now. I don't know about you guys, but I see how like I'm adding a couple little highlights in here, and it feels now it's like kind of like, okay, it kind of is making sense, you know, and the shadows are coming through. There's still an area, like some bigger areas in here that don't have quite enough of anything. It's just kind of like a little bit dark, a little bit black. I put this one tree in here that I like. It's a little bit different, right? Like these are more full. They have more leaves on them and things like that. But then this one is, I saw a little, it's like a little dead tree or something. So I think I definitely want to keep that there. And maybe just kind of make it a little bit brighter or lighter. But and I like this little, I'm trying to think. I think that's where there's a little path that goes up. And over on this other side, there's a rope that you can grab hold of. But I want to come in this area and do some more brush strokes. And again, like it doesn't probably have to look too detailed or anything like that, but putting a little bit of work in here, I think it'll be helpful. And there's some areas back here which also definitely have a little bit of sunlight hitting them. One of the things that often I will do, whether or not I have time to do it in a session like this, or I come back later and do, it will be things like if I'm painting on black like this, I know that it's going to be a bit of work to get the highlights as light as I want. So a lot of times there's a couple extra things to do to bring up the highlights and make them as bright as I want. I see a question that says, Oh, someone's swinging in the rope. That's funny. It's not actually a swing. It's just like it just hangs down and you can grab it. But I like, my favorite is these. Let me see if I have one. Well, I don't, you can't see what it's called right here, but.
Da Vinci panels.
Oh, yeah. Actually, look at this. And I have this too. This is what it is. Yeah. The Da Vinci ultra smooth gesso panels. It's kind of my favorite. You get them from Jerry's Artorama. That's where I've gotten them. You might be able to get them somewhere else, but I've never seen that exact kind anywhere else. But that doesn't mean they're not somewhere else. It just means I haven't found them. There's this area of where the water meets the sand, and it's always, well, I shouldn't use words like always very much. It often has this kind of glimmer around it. And as it comes into the sunlight, it's even stronger. You can see, like in this area, it's more like glistening rock or, yeah, little pebbles or something. It's really windy here right now. I don't know if that's coming through in the live stream at all, but it's starting to get windy. See, this is where I think I need to do a coat on the sky, though, before I get into anything else. Let me go like this. Man, there's so much. I haven't even touched this area here. Okay. Just kind of want to keep that smooth looking.
Shauna's wondering what Peter's up to these days.
Peter. Oh, he's just still working, doing a lot of good stuff with us. He's working on that, like I said, with Justin Vining, Foundations of Art course. He's done a lot with the miniature challenge as well. Peter does a lot of stuff. Like, he doesn't live super close. Man, I was thinking about it this just a couple days ago, and I was like, man, you know, he comes over and we work together on occasion. But I do wish that it was more, and I'm hoping that it can be more again. But right now it is what it is. We basically have a virtual team. Okay, I'm going to move into the back again. I'm going to simplify this back here. I don't need it to be quite as, I don't know, there's too many things, in my opinion, that don't really add to the scene. So I'm going to go like this, and oh yeah, I'll try to work on the shape of this a little bit. I'm also making this a little bit thinner, not as big of a land mass back here. I'm hoping that it helps with the composition. And now into the sky. So let's figure out, what color do we want the sky to be? I think I'm going to do the yellow kind of sky again. So I think I need to clean this palette pretty good. I've got all these really weird big palette knives like this. I don't even use it for anything. I honestly don't think I've ever used it in a painting. It's not even my favorite for cleaning off the palette. But I don't want it to feel left out, so I'll use it every once in a while. Everybody, you should say hi to the little round palette knife. He's been feeling a little bit lonely. So we're bringing him into the spotlight. You know what, buddy? I'm just going to put you right here so you can be in the live stream. You can get a little bit of attention. Hello, little round palette knife. Oh man, life is too good, man. You can't be serious all the time. Life is too serious to be serious all the time. Right, Raven? Raven's just like, man, you better get going on that painting, dude. Okay, I am gonna work here quickly. So I'm gonna do a little bit more. I'm gonna get out my big brush. I'm gonna do a little bit more on some of these areas. Because when I come back in with this sky, I don't want to have too many missing areas here. Shoot, I'm making a mess on the area that I just cleaned off. Sometimes I like making marks that are really random and just kind of hope that they work and see if they work. And sometimes I feel like they do and sometimes they don't, but sometimes when they work, it makes a painting extra nice or extra interesting. Okay. Now let's do one more little clean here. And we'll get out the sky color, which is going to be pretty much just yellow and white. See how well I can do this. So whatever you're doing this week, for the rest of the day, I hope that you do it with all your heart. Give it your best and don't let fear or anything like that slow you down or steal your joy. So we're going to keep this line of the hill kind of going up this way.
Someone's wondering why you're squinting.
Oh, I always just I'm just trying to see the pattern of the light and the dark. So it's just like trying to understand or see like where the values are, and it helps me kind of think through where I'm putting the sky. But a good observation there. I definitely do. I do squint. I squint quite a bit, mostly in looking for big shapes and big things, big design kind of things in the painting. When you go outside, squinting is really helpful because you're overwhelmed. A lot of times when you look at a scene, I know it's easy for me to get a little bit overwhelmed because there's so much detail. And so when you squint, you simplify what your eyes can can see and take in at one time, right? And what you end up noticing are the big shapes and the big values. And so a lot of times, like, the details of the scene are they can be interesting, but in the big picture of a painting, they also can be actually kind of distracting and not helpful with the overall design. So by squinting, you kind of eliminate the temptation of trying to paint. You know, if you continue to just say, like, what's the most important thing here, then you see, like, the big picture easier, and it's easier to paint the big picture at that point. If you don't, I mean, it's not that you have to squint, but I do think it's a helpful practice a lot of times for people. But you don't necessarily want to squint like when you're putting down your brush strokes and stuff like that, because, you know, obviously you want to see what you're doing. Oh, wow. Now I've created a tangent here with this little land here. I'm going to have to bring it down actually even farther, at least there on that edge. So this is a case where I'll probably come back into this sky and this again, because it's gonna need another coat for sure. And now that I have it on here, I'm seeing it kind of like the painting for the first time, like everything together. So, you know, it's like, okay, we can kind of judge the composition, can evaluate the composition for the first time. And I don't know if you see, but this is where I was saying I had a tangent, because that matched up almost right with that rock coming down. And I didn't like that at all. So there's definitely things that I love about this, but honestly, I'm not sure about the color of the sky. I'm not sure about this over here. Like, there's a little bit more contrast here than in the original, partly because that land is smaller, and maybe there's some stuff here with the shape of this as well that could be changed. There's a lot that I love about it. But I think that this area up here, that's probably the part that I want to work on the most. Yeah, perhaps I will. So probably what I'll do, I'll call it good for right now, and then I'll come back into this and do a little bit more work. I'll definitely have this. I'll show you guys the finished image, or at least have it on my site at some point. But this was a lot of fun. I think that what I don't like right now, one of the things that I don't like, and this just me just kind of thinking off the top of my head, but this area has a very distinct feel. And then this sky doesn't feel like it fits necessarily. This part of the water, I think, does, but this part of the land and the sky, they don't really fit right now. And I don't think it's going to take that much to make it fit, but I think that I'm going to have to do think about it a little bit. It might be I might actually put something in the sky that's going to have a little bit more, like right now it's just kind of, it's not smooth, but it's not like this. Like this has a big, bold brushstroke feel, and up here doesn't really have that same feel, and nor does the land. And so I think that it needs to tie in a little bit more with the style of the rest of the painting. So let's see. You guys, I was thinking the paint tray was an art piece. I see a white bird. I don't see the white bird, but I do think that a lot of times the palette becomes a really cool, like artwork of its own. Maybe a bit of pink in the sky. Yeah, it could be. It could be something like that. Like it could be the color a bit. Like there's something that just kind of needs to tie in a little bit better. Christmas Nocturne. Oh, that'd be fun. Hey, we should write these things down. One, a critique of a critique. That could be cool. And a nocturne. Let's see. Oh, squinting really helps when negative painting trees. Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably, I do a lot of negative painting, so that's awesome. I'm so glad. I'm getting inspired to paint. That's exactly what we're here for. Oh, I'd like palm trees too. Oh, that'd be fun. Hey, can you write these down on that board over there? Please. Muting down the back mountain so it's a duller shade. Yeah, I mean, we'll do some work. You know what? Maybe I'll critique my own painting. I don't know. You know how you will come back into something and you'll see it with a little bit more clarity later? That's where I'm kind of at with this right now. I think that if I look at it right now, I could probably figure it out, but it might be painful for me. And I think that I think I want to just like kind of like go, okay, you know what? It's a good first session here. I think let me take a little break and come back to it. Okay, I see people saying palm trees. I see somebody say flowers. Dude, I have this idea I was talking about with Renee. I'm not going to say it now, but shade limb off to the right side. I don't know what you mean exactly by that. I call that next day editing. That's right. Love how you did the drift with log. It's perfect. Yeah, I actually feel pretty happy about the log. I probably will look at it. You know, when you change one part of the painting, sometimes you need to go back and change something else. Like it usually means like if something becomes brighter, something else needs to become brighter. So I think that there might be a little bit of that in here. But overall, I like the feel of a lot of this. And I think it's just like tying this together. And it's going to be a killer painting though. Aloha is in your future. Pink or pale orange sky. It's lovely. Sky is beautiful. Lighten the limbs. I think she's saying, yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in the, like the way that these trees are right now that definitely could be a little bit better. But anyways, you guys, It's been so fun. Thank you for hanging out with us. And remember this, you are loved and believed in. Be strong, be bold, be courageous, make the world a more beautiful place. And we will see you guys next time. If you have not, oh, I should show this one last time. If you guys have not signed up, you guys have got to text me 425-400-2094 and I will text you when I'm going live. All right, you guys, love you. See ya.
Yeah, it turned out the echoing at the beginning was because, I don't know,